If tariffs worked, Trump wouldn't have to gaslight the American people about who paid the tariff in the first place, and you wouldn't have to pivot to the stock market every single time we try to bring up the on-the-ground effects, the unpredictability that tariffs create. Think about the long-term effects for my generation. Can you sit here and look me in the eye and say that tariffs are not inflationary?
Are you kidding? Right now, everything's working because the market...
Oh, bring up the market one more time. One more time. Pivot right back.
Kevin.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're watching Adam Mockler go head-to-head with Trump's buddy Kevin O'Leary. And listen, this Kevin dude, he really thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, but the more he talks, the more you realize, nah, not even close. You'll see what I mean. Anyway, before we get started, drop a comment and let me know where you're tuning in from. I always like seeing that, and please remember, like and subscribe to the channel. All right, let's get into the video.
Joining us at the table is Adam Mockler, Midas Touch's Gen Z creator. This is the moment, the type of dichotomy that I think is playing out here. On the one hand, it's completely uncontroversial for these suspects, because there were two of them, to be apprehended, deported if they were here in the country illegally. But on the other hand, Americans are also saying we want this to be more targeted. But the Trump administration is definitely going to use this incident to pursue what they're doing right now, which is mass deportations.
Yeah, first of all, the shooting is absolutely horrific, and every American should be okay with deporting people who are criminals and who are dangerous and here illegally. But that is not what the Trump administration is prioritizing. They have reallocated funds meant for the deportation of criminals to the deportation of farm workers. Farmers have been complaining about this directly to Donald Trump, to people who are showing up to immigration hearings. They show up to their hearing and they get directly targeted. ICE is camping there. Or what about the 82-year-old who his family was told he was dead and he was found in Argentina? Trump's popularity on immigration has dropped 10 points over the past few months, and 70% of Americans want him to focus more on lowering prices. But he's deporting farm workers, enacting more tariffs. It's not popular.
Kevin, is there more targeting that could happen here that is actually responsive to what Americans say that they want?
I agree with this narrative between those that have committed crimes, documented crimes multiple times, versus a farm worker who's been here for 20 years illegally, but is maintained his ability to work and provide productivity to the economy. This is a very delicate situation. And I think it's threading the needle for Trump because he said the same thing. Look, if you've worked on a farm and you've been, haven't been charged with anything and you're providing productivity to the economy, maybe we should work something out there. And this is where I think the challenge is. You talked about his polls dropping on this. I kind of agree with this. If you're a criminal and you've been charged, you're out of here. I think everybody agrees with that. But if you've actually come into the country and been here a long time, had children here that are American citizens, and you provided productivity to the economy, and you're supporting farming, which is one of the categories or sectors where there's a lot of these people, I kind of get it.
And then just to be clear, I mean, I think that it's farm workers, but people who work in restaurants, household, domestic employees, they're also they're inputting productivity into this economy, and they're actually maybe a larger chunk of the undocumented.
Well, you have to understand, Kristi Noem is giving a pathway for the illegals to become citizens. They're saying, here's $1,000, deport yourself, come back in the right way. Look, my husband had to do it. My husband had to wait. We waited 9 years for his green card to become, and he just got naturalized last November, right? So why do we have to wait in line? Why do these guys just bum rush in and get all our benefits and take from our blue cities? My big problem with Los Angeles is that you have local mayors there giving the heads up to communities saying, hey, there's an ICE raid coming. You better leave and let's get the rioters in.
I have a bigger problem
what
with
an elected
they're
official
doing
should do.
in not detaining or abiding by the detainer when someone's been convicted of a crime. I think they should at least cooperate with that and have that carve out, as you mentioned earlier. I think that carve out makes a lot more sense.
I want to respond to Angie saying this gives a path. What this does is disincentivize people from going to the courthouse and following the proper procedures. And part of the reason they're being so aggressive is because of this arbitrary quota set by Stephen Miller, 3,000 a day, meaning people who are going to courthouses being detained, being deported. Again, workers, people who are contributing to this country. So do you think it's okay when somebody who is following the proper processes is then kind of like hoodwinked?
Not if they came in here illegally in the first place, right?
It's not
Why didn't they
illegal if
apply?
They came through asylum process.
Adam Mockler deserves a lot of credit for what he said here. When he cuts in with they came through the asylum process, that's not just a throwaway line, that's a reality check. Because the right wing loves to act like every undocumented person snuck across in the dead of night. But the truth is, asylum is the legal pathway. It's built into our immigration system by design. Families who show up, file the paperwork, and appear in court are doing exactly what the law says they're supposed to do. That's what makes Adam's point so powerful. He's exposing the dishonesty at the core of the right-wing argument. People like Kevin O'Leary want to paint a picture of chaos at the border, as if every migrant is some criminal threat. But Mockler reminds us these are people following the process. They're not jumping the line. They're seeking asylum, which the U.S. has always recognized as a legitimate path. And let's be real, the conservative outrage here isn't about law and order. If it was, they'd respect the asylum process. Instead, they're trying to move the goalposts, criminalizing families for doing exactly what the system tells them to do. That's why Adam's point matters. He exposes the hypocrisy. Meanwhile, the workers being targeted, farm laborers, restaurant staff, people holding up entire industries, they're the backbone of the economy. Deporting them doesn't protect America, it hurts it, and that's what Mockler is calling out. He's standing up for common sense in a debate where right-wing voices are pushing fear. So yeah, Adam Mockler was dead on. He cut through the noise, called it what it is, and showed just how hollow the conservative talking points really are.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Well,
They're
that's
criminalizing asylum. That's what's happened, right?
Yes.
Trump has criminalized.
Oh, no.
Yes, actually. Trump has criminalized the legal process of asylum. Basically, if you come here and you were abiding, right, you're showing up to court because you're following the rules.
Public. I'm not worried about
We are
it.
2 weeks from the new deadline for nations to make trade deals or face new tariffs. And the Commerce Secretary is once again promising he's got the goods.
Oh, they're going to love the deals that President Trump and I are doing. I mean, they're just going to love them. This is going to be, the next 2 weeks are going to be weeks for the record books. President Trump is going to deliver for the American people.
The president has been saying he has 200 deals ready to sign, but the truth is the results have been limited at best. And the amount of teasing is a trend.
You're going to see over the next month or so, we're going to roll out dozens of deals. Oh, there are so many coming, and you're going to see deal after deal. This is going to start coming next week and the week after and the week after. We've got lots of them in the hopper. We're going to announce a whole bunch of deals over the next week or so.
Are you confident we can get these the big ones, the big deals done?
I have them done. The next 2 weeks are going to be weeks for the record books.
That was just a couple days ago. So far, only 4 trade agreements have been announced. Kevin, when are the deals coming?
Bassett tempered the enthusiasm from Japan over the weekend at the American Pavilion, and he spoke again this morning about this. He referenced, I want quality deals, not fast deals.
Do you mind if I play it? We have the soundbite. Let's play
let's listen
Scott
to
Bassett.
it. Yeah.
Mr. Secretary, August 1st is a week from Friday, I think, and I think that's on everyone's mind. Any progress that you can report on some of our big trading partners?
Look, Joe, talks are moving along, but the important thing here is the quality of the deal, not the timing of the deals. You know, again, we're proceeding at pace with the negotiations, but we're not going to rush for the sake of doing deals.
How can you say we should pay attention to the quality rather than the speed when the entire promise was 90 deals in 90 days? They were going to get it done fast, reshape the global order, and Kevin says the stock market thinks these tariffs are going to work, but no, the stock market doesn't believe Trump. When he announced the Liberation Day tariffs,
It's an all-time high
the
today.
stock market immediately dropped when he announced Liberation Day
Where
tariffs.
are we today?
After he vacillated, people don't believe him.
All-time
Countries
high
don't
in
believe
all-time
him
history.
because nobody believes
Today,
that he's being
all-time
serious.
high
I think
in
you guys are saying the same thing, just by the way.
All-time high
I mean,
in
they're
history.
I think
All-time high.
his
You
point
can't
is that
debate
They're at an all-time
yeah,
high
I
because
know.
nobody
His
believes
point
him,
is
Kevin.
that they're at an all-time high because nobody believes Trump.
Every index.
Seriously.
Did any of you guys get tired of this Kevin guy? Every time he talks, he hides behind the same recycled line, all-time high, all-time high. Like, seriously, is that the only stat he knows? It's not analysis, it's parroting. Markets naturally hit highs over time, so saying that proves absolutely nothing about whether policy or deals are actually working. And this is classic right-wing spin, cherry-picking one convenient stat while ignoring all the messy details. If the market dips, they pretend it's a fluke. If it rises, suddenly it's a victory speech. They cherry-pick, twist numbers, and hope nobody looks too closely. Kevin is just repeating the same empty talking point because he doesn't have a real answer. That's where Adam Mockler stands out. Adam isn't dazzled by slogans or cherry-picked stats. He zeroes in on the reality. Deals aren't getting done, the numbers don't back the hype, and repeating all-time high like a broken record doesn't magically make Kevin's argument valid. Adam actually brings clarity, while Kevin and the right wing are busy playing smoke and mirrors with statistics.
Because he keeps moving the goalposts. I'm so glad you played the footage. I was literally laughing watching Howard just like going every few weeks promising all these deals. And Besson should have sent that, and shouldn't have been an appearance, should have sent that as a text message directly to Howard Lutnick, because that was clearly what that guy needs to hear. But overall, the reason why he's not getting these deals, I just think we got to talk about the big picture here. If you're a foreign government, ally or adversary, or counterpart, whatever, are you going to make a deal with Donald Trump? And how can you believe that the U.S. is not going to have a sporadic change 3 years from now? I think Trump has eroded global trust in the American economy and American deal making.
You mean the all-time high market ever in history?
It's high
in
because
America?
they don't believe.
The all-time high?
They think Trump is going
like
to chicken
never
out.
been higher, never been worth more,
Kevin,
never been more successful, never.
When the
And
liberation-
it's
in
eroded
spite
what
of-
trust. All-time high today at 430 in history, never worth more. What are you talking about?
Well, look,
Well, let's
the
see what
American-
happens on August 1st when he announces
the American
potentially up to
people
50% in
are
tariffs.
also-
This
And
up
And then
and
moves
down.
the
The
deadline
American
back.
people are also in a situation that you're kind of describing, which is that Trump says, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and they say, don't believe you, sorry. I mean, is he just sort of, the economy is supposed to be his biggest issue. It's a thing that he did the best on in his first term.
Yep.
Now he's getting really low marks on it because of this
No.
tariff issue.
No, he's completely turned around the Biden-Harris economy. Look, when you have America First trade deals, that by definition means that someone's going to come second. So let's take Japan. They just had their upper house elections where they
can
lost.
I just quibble? Like, I have to quibble with that one too, because the idea that trade is a zero-sum game is not. Not everybody agrees with that, okay? That might be Trump's view of it, but that is not the view of trade when you look across the history of globalization. We have won, and so have other countries. It's not a zero-sum game.
But here's the thing, Japan can't make these deals when they have a snap election coming up in September, right? Right now, these deals do not benefit them because it benefits America. America first, Japanese second. So that's why all of this takes time. It's
Here's
not
what
just
Americans
like
say
whatever
about
Trump wants.
here's what Americans say about all of this. Is Trump focusing enough on the economy or on tariffs? They say too much on tariffs, 61%. The majority of Americans oppose tariffs on imported goods, just about the same percentage, 60%. That's a pretty lopsided assessment of that particular issue, and this idea that Trump is not focusing enough on the thing that he was elected on, which is the cost of their daily
I have a
lives.
huge problem here with this argument. Your investment account is worth more tonight at 4:30 than it's ever been in history.
Kevin, you got to look outside of your own perspective.
No, I
Most
don't,
Americans are
'cause
not
I'm
heavily
right. I'm
invested in
100%.
the stock market.
Kevin,
Most
Thank
Americans
goodness
are
I'm
barely
here
making ends
to
meet.
bring reality to
Okay,
you.
that's wonderful. You're doing really well. You're heavily invested in the stock market. Most
every
Americans
American is.
Are,
No,
no,
every
every
American.
isn't.
It's high today, but the stock market has been existing in the volatility of Trump's mind. What he decides to do one day shifts and moves the markets. The sentiment is everywhere. The uncertainty, you talk to any actual investment bank or someone who's actually making long-term decisions, they can't. Our foreign adversaries, our counterparts, they can't. They don't know whether or not in the next 3 years,
You agree with
J.D.
me on
Vance
this?
will tear up
Whatever
all these
he's
deals.
doing it, keep doing
So
it.
actually,
because
Kevin,
it's working.
you know, I was going to just say that very thing, which is that it seems like what you really like about what Trump is doing right now is that he's not doing what he said he's going to do.
Yeah.
Good point.
Abby, in the end of the day,
I mean, at the end of the day, that is what has
the
gotten.
market believes.
That's what's gotten us where we are.
Oh, no. I don't want to talk stock.
I mean,
I want to talk about the American at the kitchen table putting their child
Are you going to say
into
that tariffs
university.
are
Consumer sentiment is down.
All I'm saying is this tariff stuff and all this narrative, it's going to end up being reciprocal tariffs between countries, equal tariffs between EU, Canada, Australia, India, Vietnam, Indonesia. All we are saying is let's make it equal. And I think the market believes that. You may not, but meanwhile, the index that matters, the wealth of an American savings account, you can't win your argument tonight at 4:30. I'm sorry. It's already been decided by fact.
Adam, last word.
You lost.
If tariffs worked, Trump wouldn't have to gaslight the American people about who paid the tariff in the first place, and you wouldn't have to pivot to the stock market every single time we try to bring up the on-the-ground effects, the unpredictability that tariffs create. Think about the long-term effects for my generation. Can you sit here and look me in the eye and say that tariffs are not inflationary?
Are you kidding? Right
not kidding.
now, everything's working because the market.
Oh, bring up the market one more time. One more time. Pivot right back to it.
Kevin.
The market is the American
But Kevin,
economy.
it was,
have, like, one
it was
talking
a
point?
super simple question.
Which
Are
is?
tariffs inflationary or not?
Not yet, there haven't been.
I know, but are
Well,
they
the
inflationary?
2.7%.
Data from June shows that prices have gone up. There's a little bit of inflation, which informed Jerome Powell, head of the Federal Reserve.
Eggs are down
Let me finish my point.
33%.
Let me finish my point. It informed Jerome Powell's decision to hold off on cutting interest rates. People are unable to buy homes because mortgages
You know what I'm
are
beginning to
far more
learn?
expensive.
You guys hate numbers.
No, I don't hate numbers. I actually love numbers.
You hate numbers.
In fact,
Bring up the
I'm gonna
market
say- I'll say
I
something-
bring you numbers,
I'll
you
say
hate
something positive about Trump. I'll say something positive about his tariff policy.
Last word, Anna.
In his first term, he was way smarter about tariffs. They were targeted. They were smart. They were so good that Biden came in, he kept them in place, and even expanded upon them. But what Trump did by slapping on these insanely high tariffs, this like coercive thing with every country we do trade with, think about it. If I were one of those countries, how about we band together and refuse to make good deals with Trump?
Did any of you guys notice how Kevin keeps doing the same trick every single time tariffs come up? He runs back to the stock market like it's a security blanket. All-time high, all-time high. It's like that's the only line he memorized. And this is exactly what the right wing loves to do. Cherry pick one flashy number while ignoring the reality of kitchen table economics. Most Americans aren't living off their portfolios. They're living paycheck to paycheck. So Kevin's entire argument doesn't even land for the majority of people. That's why Adam Mockler is so good here. He doesn't let Kevin hide behind empty stats. He flat out asks the real question. Are tariffs inflationary or not? And what does Kevin do? Pivot, deflect, run back to the market again. Adam kept pressing for a straight answer and Kevin couldn't give one because the truth is tariffs drive up costs for working families. Adam was the only one on that stage talking about the long-term impact on real people, not just short-term noise on Wall Street. And that's why I respect Adam so much. He's honest, clear, and not afraid to call out the gaslighting. Kevin, meanwhile, just proved what happens when your entire argument is smoke and mirrors. So let me ask you guys, what do you think of Adam Mockler in this debate? Drop a comment down below, ND. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.